Alright, in this video, I'm going to be discussing. I'm going to start off with a quote. Give me just a second here. My quote is, now this isn't mine, like I didn't make this, but if you have a friend, keep them as such, do not tell your secrets much. Turn this down a little. When your friend becomes your foe, into the world your secrets go. So, why am I bringing this quote up? Well, I've had to learn this lesson again, and I thought I would share something as far as what I've learned. About a month from now, in October, I lost one friend who I've known for almost my entire life. And that person changed on me in the few years that that person changed over very rapidly in the very few years into someone who I didn't know. And I lost that person as a friend last October. And I thought that, I could understand to a certain degree. Or I blamed myself for a long time. Turn that down a little bit more. So yeah, I blamed myself for a long time. What did I do wrong? All these things. And the thing is, no matter how long you've known somebody, people change. And I might make that the title of this. People change. And it's not, sometimes it's your fault if you did something, but sometimes it's not. And a lot of us are very conscientious and will often blame ourselves if we don't get an answer why. If one of your shoes are untied and you trip and fall, you don't generally want to fall again. Even if you don't get hurt, you're still embarrassed. So you look down, you try to figure out what did you trip over. Was it your shoelace? Was there a stick or something? You try to figure it out so that you don't do that again. That doesn't always happen in social circumstances. Sometimes you don't get a reason why. And a lot of us who are conscientious tend to blame ourselves. So, I'm going to read from my notes that I took here when I realized this had happened and so forth. So give me a second. Alright, if you had a friend for years or months, they can change on a dime. I've had to learn this twice. If someone in your life starts acting weird, don't blame yourself. Some of this, a little bit of repeat. You can't expect an answer or even a reason. It's hard to let go even when you don't know what went wrong, unless you are told differently. Assume that it's them. Best you can do is to be careful who you trust going forward. So, yeah, basically, even in the polite society, like you might expect somebody to be like, hey, you pissed me off, and here's why, and you crossed this boundary. But we pretend it's polite society, but people are going to do what people are going to do. And ghosting isn't just for boyfriend and girlfriend or people dating. You can ghost a friend or simply change and not give any reason. I think that's equivalent to ghosting. It probably deserves its own vocabulary word. But, yeah, if someone just changes on the dime, people change. And whether you feel like they owe you explanation or not, they're not going to give you one. So the best thing to do, if you're conscientious, and you tend to, automatically go straight to, I must have done something to piss them off, or I must have done something wrong, stop, and realize that you're not responsible for how other people think and for the changes in their life, unless you know that you directly caused it. And even then, they still have to, interpret information on their own. They still have their own responsibility of how they understand things. You are not responsible for how they interpret something. The best you can do is be honest about a situation and expect that they will do the same. Many times people will take things out of context and victim blame, and that's also just a way of changing a perspective. So if anybody is watching this and I'm going to try to wrap this up, would be that don't blame yourself. If someone changes erratically out of the blue, it's them. Like, if you've not done anything and you know that you've been consistent and you've been honest and everything else, then don't worry about it. People change, and even ones that you're close to and you think you don't really know anybody as well as you think. How well do you know yourself?